Welcome to St. Paul, Minnesota. Nathan Moore with you, live on a gorgeous evening here in Minnesota. Kansas City T-Bones trying to get back into the win column here tonight. Tough loss last night, a final score of 1-0. Let's go ahead and get you the starting lineups tonight. First for Kansas City in game one of a four-game series. Leading off for the Kansas City T-Bones, Brett Wiley. Batting second, the shortstop, Vladimir Frias. Batting third, the designated hitter, is Jake Blackwood. The cleanup hitter in left field is Anthony Gallus. Batting fifth, the center fielder, is Tyler Massey. Batting sixth is the first baseman, Brandon Tierney. The catcher, Steve Swingle, bats seventh. Batting eighth is the right fielder, Christian Torres. Sergio Leon, the third baseman, bats ninth. Wiley, Frias, Blackwood, Gallus, Massey, Tierney. Swingle, Torres, Leon for Kansas City here tonight. On the other side for the Saints, 6-1. They won their division pretty easily last year, and they're off to a fantastic start again early in 2016. Leading off is the speedy center fielder Alonzo Harris. Batting second, the right fielder Brilland Almada. Batting third, the left fielder is Willie Argo. The cleanup hitter at first base is Angelo Sanko. Batting fifth, the team's designated hitter is Nate Hansen. Tony Thomas bats sixth. He's at second base with the shortstop Mike Gilmartin batting seventh. Batting eighth is the catcher Tony Caldwell. Batting ninth, the third baseman is Tanner Vavra. It's your starting lineups here tonight. Game one of a four-game series here in St. Paul, Minnesota. CHS Field. It is the second year in existence here in 2016. First pitch of the game from Shields is right down the middle for a called strike. Wiley for Kansas City, batting .389, no home runs, 1 RBI. On-base percentage, a little over 400. Off to a fantastic start as Wiley. Here's the 0-1 pitch and a ground ball to first. Bodies it up to Sanko. He'll go to the bag himself. And very quickly, 2 pitches into the game, and out number 1 for the Saints. 1 up, 1 down for the shortstop, Vladimir Frias. Apologize for getting on air just a little bit later here tonight, checking out a different system here in St. Paul. We had an opener and a closing billboard for you this evening and had a little bit of issues getting those to play right before the start of the game. So we'll have all that for you tomorrow. Vladimir Frias, the shortstop for Kansas City, batting second in tonight's lineup. And the first pitch from Shields is a called strike on the outside corner. Gorgeous ballpark. It is almost at capacity here at first pitch. First pitch at 7:09 here tonight. Temperatures in the upper 70s. 0-1 pitch on the way, and Frias chops it to first base. Sanko is there. Shields covering, and very quickly, 2 outs for Kansas City. Been the storyline so far for the season for the Kansas City offense, just really scuffling at the plate. Kansas City wearing their road gray tops, gray pants. They will be out of the third base dugout in this series. Saints occupying the first base dugout. You never know from city to city which dugout is technically and properly the home team's dugout. Every team occupies a different one. First pitch to Blackwood is a fastball a bit low. 1-0 on Kansas City T-Bones designated hitter Jake Blackwood. The outfield is fairly deep, or the outfielders are fairly deep. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that's a bit low, 2-0. CHS Field. This is once again a gorgeous ballpark. Right behind center field is a major highway, the river not too far away as well. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and Blackwood chops it to third. Should be a really quick inning for Shields, and it will be on a 5-3 putout. So Kansas City goes down 1-2-3 in the first as we head to the bottom of the first. No score. Saints coming up on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Johnny Shuttlesworth makes his second start in a Kansas City T-Bones uniform as this pitch goes a bit outside. 1-1 on Alonzo Harris, batting .206, couple of home runs. He does have 8 RBIs out of the leadoff spot. Big changeup, swung on and missed, and the count's now 1-2. Alonzo Harris, one of the better center fielders in this league. He is very quick, fields his position quite well. Kansas City hoping Shuttlesworth gets back into a groove after kind of a rocky start against Texas back in Kansas City. This pitch way outside, 2-2. Very cloudy here in St. Paul, and we heard that there was a lot of rain and severe weather back home. There's a swing and a miss on a nasty slider down and away. He blocked in the dirt by Swingle, and to complete the strikeout, Swingle throws to Tierney, and out number 1. Defensively for Kansas City, Swingle behind home plate. Leon is at third, Frias at short, Wiley at second, Tierney at first, and the outfield left to right featuring Gallus, Massey, and Torres for the Kansas City defense. That's right, Tierney at first base. So it's the first time this season we will see Brandon defending at first. We know that we talk about the ability of several defenders to play multiple positions. That's just another example of that. Here's a foul ball straight back, and the count's 0-1 on Breland Almadova. Almadova batting .258, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, right-hander versus right-hander matchup here in the bottom of the first inning. Shuttlesworth is set, the pitch on the way, and caught the inside corner. Pretty good fastball, 93 miles an hour. And very quickly, Shuttlesworth is way ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. This is a Saints team that absolutely took care of business in 2015. They, alongside Sioux City, was the storylines of the entire season. One ball, 2 strikes in the pitch. Shuttlesworth just barely misses low. Pretty good pitch. Good change up at 80 miles an hour, and the count's even, 2 strikes. Bottom of the first inning, no score, game 1 of 4. A long road trip for Kansas City. Here's a pop foul on a play to the right side. 11 games on this road trip for Kansas City. 4 here in St. Paul, 4 more in Gary, and then 3 against Sioux City. Kansas City hoping to catch Gary and Sioux City right in the middle of their really slow, sluggish start. Another 2-2 pitch. This one's fouled off on the third base line, and the count stays 2 strikes. Not a really bad drive. It's just straight up 35 highway all the way into the Twin Cities. St. Paul, an older stadium that was rebuilt a couple of years ago, and they really have a great-looking ballpark here. Swing and a miss, and down goes Almadova. So very quickly, 2 up, 2 down for Shuttlesworth, both via the strikeout. And that'll bring up Willie Argo, the left fielder. Willie Argo, another fine defensive outfielder. Good left fielder. Struggling right now at the plate, just .217. On base percentage, well over 400. First pitch right at the knees and a called strike. Shuttlesworth is right around 92 to 93 with the fastball, so pretty good velocity here tonight. More improved velocity compared to the Texas series. Another fastball at the knees, swung on and missed, and once again, Shuttlesworth way ahead of a St. Paul Saint. The Saints are 6-1, one of the better starts in the league. 0-2 pitch, fastball high, and the count's 1-2. You've heard about it not only from Matt but myself, the way that this crowd uses some fine figures. Here's a little one-hopper back to the mound, and Shuttlesworth completes a very quick 1-2-3 inning of his own. So very quickly, both pitchers setting the tone. And as we head to the second inning, there is still no score. As we head to the second of Game 1 of this 4-game series, you're listening to the Kansas City T-Bones on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
health. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
We head to the top of the second inning. Nathan Moore back with you, live from St. Paul, Minnesota. No score. Kansas City trying to get off to a better offensive start here tonight. They really struggled against Lincoln. In fact, Kansas City only scored 3 runs in the 3-game series against Lincoln. Usually when you score 3 runs in 3 games, it's not going to be a very good series, but Kansas City did. They did win a game. They won the first game of that series, 2-1, and then Kansas City only scoring 1 run in the next 2 nights combined. So the offense really scuffling, but you know it's just a matter of time before this offense comes to life. It is not an easy task tonight, though, as Jeff Shields, one of the best pitchers in the league. 1 strike on Anthony Gallus. Gallus, couple of home runs, batting .217, and he takes a strike. And very quickly, Gallus is behind in the count, 0-2. So 2 strikes on Kansas City T-Bones left fielder Gallus. He's been working over at first base, but we have not seen him play there yet. Here's a fly ball down the right field line, hooking into the corner. It's going to be a foul ball by half a foot. So Gallus almost clobbering a double down the left field line or the right field line, but instead it's a foul ball, and the count will remain 0-2. So 2 strikes on Anthony Gallus. And he will once again try to get a pitch where he can hammer, try to get on base any way he can. Right-hander versus right-hander. Shields coming set, and the right-hander brings it in. Line drive, pretty well struck, deep center field. Harris on the run, and he dives and holds it on. Well, that ball was smoked to straightaway center field, and Harris once again talking about how good of a defender he is, robbing extra bases away from Anthony Gallus. That one was heading to straightaway left center field. It was headed for the alley. And out of nowhere, Harris was able to run it all the way down, and at the last second, he leaped about 5 feet and held onto the ball. So a loud out number 1 in the second inning, and that'll bring up the speedy center fielder Tyler Massey. Massey got his first hit of the season in the Lincoln series and had another hit last night. Slowly but surely trying to get his numbers back up to respectability. He's really struggled. He knows that. But he is a guy that this team really needs to get this offense turned around. A lot of potential. There's a reason that Maz and this coaching staff has night in, night out, put him in top 5 of the field, and maybe this is why. Line drive to left, but once again, another good defensive outfielder back dropping a couple of steps and making the catch for out number 2. So Massey squaring a baseball up, but right to a defender, and very quickly 2 outs for Kansas City. Brandon Tierney making his first start at first base here today, and he squares up a ball. Right center field, pretty well struck. And the right fielder this time, Almadova, reels it in. So Kansas City not cheated at all here in the second. But on the flip side, Jeff Shields does not throw very many pitches. It is a 1-2-3, top of the second, as we head to the bottom of the second. No score on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network. We head to the bottom of the second inning. No score between Kansas City and the St. Paul Saints. Saints will send up Sanko, Hansen, and Thomas here in the second inning. Angelo Sanko, one of the better hitters a year ago, actually got picked up in the offseason. He is back here again in 2016, and a high fly ball. Playable. Center fielder Massey is there, drifting back to the warning track, and makes the catch. And one pitch, one out to begin the second inning for Kansas City. Designated hitter Nate Hansen will come to the plate next. Let me try to describe the ballpark to you, and I guarantee you I'm not going to give it as much justice as it deserves. I have said over and over that the T-Bones Ballpark, Community America Ballpark in Kansas City, is one of my all-time favorite ballparks between affiliated baseball, college baseball, and professional ranks of baseball, but it is still in my top 5. Here's a high fly ball, right field. Torres is there. He'll make the catch and very quickly. 2 up, 2 down for Shuttlesworth here in a second. And I'm not saying that being biased toward the T-Bones. I really like the way the layout of the field for Kansas City is. But this ballpark is very, very, very much like a major league ballpark. 400 straightaway center, a small backdrop, and then a huge hitter's eye. 330 down the left field line, 320 down the right field line. So more of a symmetrical ballpark. That's what I don't like. Every field kind of likes to be symmetrical. They always like to have the same dimensions. That's why I like Kansas City's ballpark. Here's a routine ground ball to short. Deep short in the grass. The throw to first is not in time. Tony Thomas can fly, and he showed his wheels here with the infield single to the shortstop Vladimir Frias. It looked like it was much more routiner than it was. And by the time Vladdy got it, he was behind the bag in center field and just not enough on the throw to beat the speedy Thomas. So Tony on base for the Saints' first hit. And now 2 outs, 1 on for the shortstop Mike Gilmartin. But in this ballpark, there's 4 different colors of gray on their seats, and then an occasional golden seat on each row. And if you've seen a NASCAR event, they do that, and it kind of alludes, if you had an empty ballpark with the different colorings, that if a TV camera would flash on it, it would look and appear as if it was a more fuller capacity crowd, but they don't need that here tonight. This crowd is absolutely packed in here. Here's a strike on Gilmartin, and the count's 0-1. There is 2 separate levels. You've got the floor level, and then you've got your suite level, just very much like Kansas City's ballpark. Another pickoff attempt at first, and diving back safely is Tony Thomas. What else about this ballpark? Behind left field, way upon left field, behind the fence, there is a berm behind left field, somewhat like Kansas City has in right field. Here's a fly ball to center field. Should be the inning. Massey waits for it. He's got it. And it is another scoreless inning here tonight for Johnny Shuttlesworth. So it's a pitcher's duel, at least through the first 2 innings. As we head to the third, no score on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
Defining wealth, it's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to
See if the Kansas City offense can get something going here in this third inning. Still no score. Shuttlesworth and Shields have thrown a couple of scoreless innings apiece. Here in the third inning, bottom third of the order, 7, 8, 9 hitters. Swingle, Torres, and Leon for Kansas City. Kansas City T-Bones just now starting an 11-game road trip. It is the longest road trip of the year. Now there's another 10-game road trip in a span of 11 days, but in my opinion that doesn't count. And the reason why it doesn't count is because that trip is broken up with an off day, and then we go to Lincoln. So that day will obviously different than a 11-game road trip where you go to St. Paul and then Gary and then to Sioux City. Here's a pitch on the way to Swingle, and he fouls it off down the left field line. Giving chase, but it is into the seats. No score, top of the third. This is the one and the only series in which Kansas City heads to St. Paul, Minnesota. What a shame. Not too far of a travel and a gorgeous place to play baseball. This pitch is a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shields, and his stature, looking at his build, 6'3", 205-pounder from Atlanta, Georgia. This one is smoked into right field. That's a hit. So Steve Swingle has the first hit for Kansas City tonight, and that is now 4 consecutive solid swings from the Kansas City offense. Nothing to show for it in the second, but 3 really good swings. And now finally the first hit falls in for Kansas City. Christian Torres will now follow, young right fielder, just recently out of college last summer. And he brings in his .267 batting average. Here's a ground ball, left side. Gilmartin has it out at second, back to first, and a fine-looking 6-4-3 double play. Torres has some speed, but that's not what the more impressive thing was. Gilmartin fielded that ball in the 5.5 hole, deep left or deep short, behind the bag at third almost, and he threw a solid strike to Thomas at second. And Thomas's relay throw to first wasn't even close, and Torres hits it hard, but right into a 6-4-3 double play. So immediately after Shields giving up the hit, Kansas City grounds into a double play. And now the young infielder, Sergio Leon, will come up. Sergio, batting just .143. He is going to be known for his defense, but he does have a good bat, good speed, good base running awareness. Here's a swing and a miss on a cut fastball, and the count's even. 1 ball, 1 strike. A busy place, St. Paul, Minnesota. You look to the left, highways. You look to the right, highways. You look behind center field, a major highway. Here's a called strike, 88-mile-per-hour fastball, and the count's now 1 ball, 2 strikes. If you love living near highways, this is the place for you. Shields has the sign from Caldwell, the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball, right side, into right field for a hit. So Sergio Leon with a hit, second hit of the inning. Kansas City has runner at first base, so now 2 outs for Brett Wiley. So good piece of hitting was for Sergio, and down in the count, tried not to do too much and just flipped a base hit into right field. That is what this team is going to have to do for Kansas City. Until the power numbers come back to fruition, they're just going to have to manufacture runs. That was what was difficult about last night. Kansas City had double the hits of Lincoln, but lost 1-0. That will be a game that will be on the minds of a few for a while. Here's a called strike to Wiley, and the count's 0-1. Wiley hit a double in the 8th inning with 1 out, tried to stretch a double into a triple, and that was a big out because, wouldn't you know it, Torres would follow with a hit, but nobody to drive home. Ground ball to second, Thomas to first in time, and Wiley is 0 for 2 from the leadoff spot here tonight. Couple of hits, one left. We head to the bottom of the third. Still no score on the Kansas City T-Bones Radio Network. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Nathan Moore back with you on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network. 8-9 one-hitters, Tony Caldwell, Tanner Vavra, and Alonzo Harris, the scheduled three hitters, to face Johnny Shuttlesworth in the third inning. Kansas City trying to get another scoreless inning, get that offense back up there to try to get their first run in a couple of nights. Shuttlesworth, a couple of strikeouts here tonight. And the first pitch of this at-bat is a bit outside. 1-0 on the catcher, Tony Caldwell, who's off to a good start, batting .333. Right-handed hitter takes a curveball low, and the count's 2-0. Caldwell, 6 RBIs, 1 home run. He has scored 4 times this year. 2-0 pitch is a called strike at the knees, and Caldwell just simply shaking his head in disagreement. Nearly a capacity crowd here tonight. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, and Shuttlesworth works up in the zone. It was not a strike, but swung on and missed, and the count's 2-2. Shuttlesworth trying to retire the leadoff man for the third consecutive inning. Obviously makes it a lot easier to pitch when you get that first out of the inning. Shuttlesworth has the sign. 2-2 pitch. And a fly ball that is smoked to left center field. Nobody going to get this one. Massey on the way to center field. He picks it up on the warning track. It's a leadoff double. So Caldwell, who had the count 2-2, just squared up a slider down and outside and doubled to deep left center field. And the Saints, with their second hit of the night, has their first runner in scoring position. That will bring up the third baseman, Tanner Vavra. Vavra coming up for the first time, batting .316, no home runs, 4 RBIs. The bottom two of this order hitting better than really anybody in this order for St. Paul. So they're really getting a lot of production from the bottom part of their lineup. Showing a bunt and taking a fastball low. 91-mile-per-hour fastball from Shuttlesworth. This is where you would expect some sort of a bunt, but St. Paul with the offense haven't struggled to score runs. So it wouldn't surprise me if they have their number 9 hitter swinging away. Showing a bunt and taking way outside, 2-0. So Vavra trying to give himself up. Shuttlesworth trying to make a bunting situation more difficult, and he has fallen behind 2-0. Frias right behind the runner at second base. That is Caldwell, who just doubled. 2-0 pitch is back to the dirt, and it counts 3-0. So this is not where you want to see your first walk of a game. The number 9 hitter, Shuttlesworth, last time out, did not get through 4 innings. He's looked much sharper here today, but some trouble here in the third. This pitch is a called strike on the inside corner. And the count now, 3 balls and 1 strike. Third baseman Leon is even with the bag at third, as is the first baseman Tyranny. Deep in the hole at second is Wiley, and the outfielders are straight up but fairly deep. 3-1 pitch. Called strike anyway. You might have even checked the swing, and the count is full 3-2. So Shuttlesworth, falling behind 3-0, has came back to fill it up, now more than anything, trying to get the first out of the inning. A strikeout would be huge if that could be picked up here in the third. Alonzo Harris waiting on deck. Checks the sign, the 3-2 pitch. Here's a ground ball to short. Frias has it, no advance to third, and a nice strike to first is in time. So a good out right there. So Vavra could not move up the runner, so a bad out for St. Paul. A great out for Shuttlesworth. And now 1-on-1 out for Alonzo Harris. Harris struck out swinging to lead off against Shuttlesworth. So he is 0 for 1. The ushers here at CHS Field are dressed up for many occasion. And they do their best throughout the entire duration of the game to keep you entertained. A lady on the third base dugout is decked out in pink with a big pink hat and wearing as a purse a big shoe. That is what the purse is. She is dancing and jumping up and down the third base line between each and every pitch to get the reaction of the crowd. Shuttlesworth checks the runners. The 2-0 pitch and a chopper foul to the third base dugout, and the count is 2 balls and a strike. Kansas City will send out Jeremy Strawn tomorrow night. He gets the start. And that rain that you guys were getting in Kansas City is possibly going to get to us at some point tomorrow, if not on Saturday night. 2-1 pitch, another foul ball down past third. The count's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Shuttlesworth trying to work her out or around a leadoff double in this inning. Still scoreless, bottom of the third. Each team with 2 hits. Ground ball heading up the middle. Frias has it behind the bag over to first in time for the out. And once again, Vladimir Frias showing off the range at the shortstop position, out number 2. He knew the speed of Alonzo Harris and rushed the throw, but a very good throw. And Tierney didn't have to do much work to stretch to make the out. So a leadoff double by Tony Caldwell. Varver grounded out to Frias, and now Harris grounded out to Frias. Caldwell has moved on to third, but now more importantly, 2 outs have been accumulated here in the third inning. And now very quickly showing a bunt attempt. Almadova takes a bit outside. Almadova batting .250, 0 for 1 tonight, struck out in the first inning. From the stretch, and this pitch is way high, 2-0. Runner at third, 2 outs. Bottom of the third, game 1 of 4 of this 4-game series between Kansas City and St. Paul. 2-0 pitch, waved out and missed. 2 balls and a strike. St. Paul in the North Division, they are in the same division of the likes of Fargo, Winnipeg, Sioux Falls. Next pitch is in the dirt, and it counts 3 balls and a strike. You do not want to see Willie Argo unless you absolutely have to in this inning. Shuttlesworth's 3-1 pitch. And a fastball missed outside, ball 4. So, you will see the number 3 hitter here in the third inning. A 2-out walk to Almadova. Willie Argo is 0 for 1, grounded out to Shuttlesworth to end the first inning, but he is not an easy out, nor is his teammate who stands on deck in Sanko. Sanko, a very, very difficult out to obtain, and he awaits on deck. You would love to see him lead off the fourth inning. First pitch to Argo, shows a bunt and gets it down the third base line. It is a foul ball. Had the bunt been fair, Caldwell would not have scored because he did not take off with the contact. So it's a strike, 0-1. Argo batting just .208, still looking for his first home run of the year. A lot of protection behind him in the order, so you really would like to attack Argo and once again avoid Sanko in this third inning. Runner goes. The 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. The throw to second is a little bit late. It's a stolen base. Kind of a dangerous throw. It one-hopped in there, and Wiley kind of stabbed at it. Had that ball gone into center field, St. Paul would have scored a run. Now, because of the stolen base, Almadova is at second base. Caldwell is still at third, and now a base hit could possibly drive in a couple of Saints. 2 strikes on Willie Argo. Shuttlesworth from the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball right back to the mound. Shuttlesworth has it over to first in time, and the inning is over. So for the second consecutive at-bat, Willie Argo grounds right out to the pitcher, and the inning is over. 3 innings complete, still no score on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
We head to the fourth inning, still no score as we play this first game of an 11-game road trip. Shields and Shuttlesworth going at it here tonight. Both pitchers have pitched 3 scoreless innings. Each team has 2 hits apiece. Here in the fourth inning, Frias, Blackwood, Gallus, 2-3-4 hitters for Kansas City, as the T-Bones are looking for their first run since Tuesday night. That was a Robbie Cousdell solo shot home run in the first inning. Kansas City was then shut out the following 8 innings and all 9 yesterday, so a 20 consecutive scoreless drought right now for Kansas City. Frias shows a bunt and takes a strike, and the count's 0-1. Vladdy, a couple of hits last night against the Salt Dogs. He's now batting 192. 0-1 pitch in the dirt, and it counts 1 ball, 1 strike. The Saints with Coe, Hamburger, Shields, and Straka, one of the better four-man rotations, in particular in the North Division. Here's a little chopper to the shortstop. Gilmartin has it go under his glove and just kind of ricochet straight up. So Frias is safe at first base. More than likely that'll be ruled an E6. So Frias giving Kansas City their first defensive miscue of the series. Second consecutive inning. Kansas City has had the leadoff man aboard. It is an E6, so that is an error on Mike Gilmartin. And now you've got good speed and right in the heart of the order for Kansas City to try to get something going on the offensive end. First pitch to Blackwood is a bit inside, and the count's 1-0. 90-mile-per-hour fastball from Jeff Shields. Blackwood grounded out to end the first inning. He has seen his average drop a bit too. He's down to 172. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Jake thought about it, instead takes a strike. And the count is even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Outfield straight away, fairly deep all the way around. Very good speed in all three outfield positions. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and there's a strike on the inside corner. That is a nasty pitch. That was diving in on the hands on the inside part of the plate. So now Jake just trying to find something to put into play and obviously try to avoid a double play. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and a chopper foul near his team's dugout, and the count stays the same. Shields returning here to St. Paul this year. Had fantastic numbers a year ago, and coming into tonight, he was having a pretty good year. And talking about that rotation, this rotation is going to give St. Paul many opportunities to win games this year. Here's the 1-2 pitch again, and Blackwood fouls it off. Talking with Sean Aronson, the media relations director for the Saints before the game, and it's really hard when you had last year's team in your mind, how this team stacks up to last year's team, but last year's team was just so deep top to bottom, especially on the offensive end. This year the offense for St. Paul not nearly as dynamic as last year's. But you still have some really good pieces. The big question for St. Paul is how good is their bullpen, because their starting rotation is pretty good on paper. So their bullpen is going to have a lot of close games. Frias is off and running. Pitches inside and no throws. So Frias will steal second base without a throw. A very, very close pitch, but Blackwood takes for ball 2, and the count's 2-2. So now a double play possibility is out of the realm of possibility. Now a base hit. Kansas City could take their first lead of the game. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Jake tried to check his swing but could not, and chases a slider down and outside for a strikeout. That is the first strikeout of the night for Shields, and the first out here in the fourth inning. Now it'll bring up the left fielder, Anthony Gallus. Gallus lined out to deep center his first time up to lead off the second inning. A nice defensive play by Harris to rob him of extra bases. With good speed at second, a base hit more than likely. Frias would race around third to score. Gallus taking all the way. Fastball at the knees, and the count's 0-1. Outfield on the corner spots, almost all the way to the warning track. Right-hander versus right-hander. 0-1 pitch is way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. There is chances of rain here the next couple of days, just like there has been in Kansas City, it seems like, for the last 2 weeks. Kansas City trying to cash in that error for a run in this 4th inning. The 1-1 pitch is a bit low. Two balls and a strike. Massey would follow Gallus here in this 4th inning. No score, top of the 4th. Each team 2 hits. The only error charged to St. Paul, it came in this inning. The shortstop Gil Martin charged with that only error of the game. And Shields just turns and looks as Frias trots back into second base. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's inside. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. T-Bones coming into tonight, 3-4. The Saints 6-1. Saints just finishing up a series against the Canaries, in which the St. Paul Saints did in fact win that series. Shields in a dangerous spot here against a dangerous hitter and ahead of the count. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4, down and inside. So that's the first walk issued by Shields. It comes with 1 out and 1 on in the 4th inning. So now Kansas City, runners at first and second. 1 out for Tyler Massey, who is 0 for 1. And Massey lined out to left field his first time up. So he was all over a fastball by Shields in the 2nd inning. We'll see if he gets another pitch he can hammer in this 4th inning. Frias at second, Gallus at first, 1 out in the 4th inning. If the inning continues, Brandon Tierney would follow. Right-handed pitcher versus the left-handed hitter. First pitch, Massey fouls it away. Wide pass to John West, the first base coach for the T-Bones here tonight. John West coaching first base. Dave Schaub, the third base coach. As we typically see it night in, night out on the road for John Massarelli. Massey's average is a 77. Here's the pitch. And a bit inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty good spot, pretty good idea, but Massey laying off the fastball. One ball, 1 strike. Kansas City trying to get the first run of the game across here in the 4th inning. Shields trying to get a big out. Here's a high pop-up that'll reach the seats, and the count is now 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was pitch number 43 for Shields. So he has been pretty much in the strike zone the entire night. Pitch efficiency has been well. Massey again with the count. Down to the count 1-2. Runners go. Pitch outside. The throw to third is into left field. Frias gets up. He's on his way home, and the T-Bones have their first run of the night. So Vladimir Frias in a double steal. Steals third base on a throw that was off the bag, and Varvara at third base couldn't handle it. Into shallow left field. That's the 2nd error of the inning. And Kansas City scores their first run of the series. So the leadoff error hurts. Kansas City cashes in. So 2 stolen bases in the sequence for Frias, but a big, big error. In fact, 2 errors in the inning. So the Saints pretty much gift wrapping a run to Kansas City in the 4th. It's a 1-0 lead here in the 4th. Now Gallus at second base, and the next pitch to Massey is a ground ball to the right side. It would have been a double play ball. Instead, it is a 4-3 putout. Gallus goes over to third, and now 2 outs for Brandon Tierney. So finally, that scoreless streak snaps for the Kansas City offense, and it snaps not because of the bats per se, but because of the base running ability by Frias and kind of a couple of big defensive blunders by the Saints here in the 4th inning. An E6 and an E2, both in the same inning. Now it's up to Tierney to make the errors really hurt. Pitch on the way, and Brandon takes a strike on the inside corner. .45 pitches now for Shields through 3 2/3 innings. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's in the dirt. Ball 1 ball, 1 strike. Behind Tierney is the catcher Steve Swingle, who singled to lead off the 3rd inning. So Kansas City now with a few base runners in the last 2 innings. 1-1 pitch back to the dirt, 2 balls and a strike. Fastball at 91. .375 average for Kansas City T-Bone first baseman Tierney in his first year with Kansas City. 2-1 pitch up in the zone, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. And right now, Kansas City not really helping Jeff Shields. Really kind of staying inside of that strike zone, forcing the right-hander to find the zone again. 3-1 pitch. Tierney tried to hit a 2-run home run, came up empty, and the count's full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tierney has not hit a home run this year. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Tierney takes inside, ball 4, so a couple of walks in the inning. And Kansas City continues to rack up the pitches on Shields here in this 4th inning. So Frias reached on a leadoff E6. Stole 2nd, stole 3rd, scored on a E2 by the catcher Caldwell. Gallus has walked, Tierney has walked. And in between there, a couple of outs. So now runners on the corners for Steve Swingle, the catcher. And the pitch on the way. And the first pitch is a bit low. 51 pitches. So what appeared to be a very great 3-inning start, and it was for Shields, this 4th inning, if nothing else, has really got into his head with the pitch count. This one's also low, 2-0. So Shields really battling his control issues here in the 4th inning. 1 run already in for Kansas City. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, and a foul ball straight back. All over it was Swingle, and now has the count, 2 balls and a strike. He was looking fastball, got the fastball, and fouled it straight back. Gallus at 3rd. Tierney at 1st. Tierney takes off for 3rd, and this one's hit down the right field line, but playable. Almadova is there. And the inning is over. So Kansas City scores a run without a hit, courtesy of a couple and a couple of walks. But after 3.5 innings, the T-Bones have their first lead of the series. 1-0 Kansas City on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.